You have technical issues?
There's a little bit technical.
Save it. All right.
Yo, conceived as one, split into two. Gonna talk so much shit till the air goes blue. After we're through, you're gonna wish you were monozygotic too. Just a couple Nimpods up to no good. Couple of Nimpods up to no good. See what we're doing there? It's Nimrods. But it's a podcast with Nimpods.
Do you like to be judged or liked? Do you like it inside a barrel? Plunging over the falls. Okay. Better than never. I hear something scratching. You're scratchy.
Yo. Check.
Welcome to Nimpods 22. Is this 22?
I think it's 21. No, 22. Yeah. Welcome to Nimpods 22.
Turned on my mic.
22. Double it up.
All right, we kind of
know I
wanted
said
to. Pardon me that I have a cold coming on here, so you can finally tell us apart. I'm Dan.
I'm Jamie. And we are the Nimpods, a.k.a. the Francis Brothers, a.k.a. The Sultans of SWAT.
The Colossus of Clout?
Colossus of Clout? No, I always go back to that. We got to have, like, some just random, like, we make our own things. But do you remember, like, combined nicknames that we have been called in the past? I'll always remember Olsen twins. We were the Olsen twins.
Yeah, in high school we were Olsen
That
twins.
really stuck in high school. But it's weird because, like, it's kind of dated now because Olsen twins are, like, not as relevant as they used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, relevant in whatever.
I remember in elementary
Public eye.
with JD, we were the Shrins.
Oh yeah, that was unique.
What was that
and
about?
It was like, I don't know. He liked to make up his own words. Yeah, I remember that. The Shrins. That's funny.
That was when we were playing ball and stuff in the yard.
Yeah.
Backyard ball. Front yard ball, actually.
Yeah. So we had a bit of a night yesterday.
Yeah, well, we wanted to do this fairly soon after, just to kind of catch the when it was still sort of fresh. But yeah, it was still kind of a surreal night. Like, I didn't.
Yeah, this is something like I want. Like,
it's very.
We'll have to listen to Nimpods 22 with the hope in the eye, like the positivity that's gonna come out of this, and like when we're in the trenches, like from a year from now.
Yeah.
No, but it was like it's just really hard to explain how awesome it was. I don't know why, and I don't know what happened. Like I'm still like what's going on? Did they watch like the same movie? And I mean, maybe they were just being super nice, but like we had a public screening during Nanaimo's Hub City Society's first ever Cinefest. We were actually the first feature ever played.
I guess so. Guess we were.
Like in the Cinefest world. Hopefully, I know Zach's plan is to build upon this year and have it like easily like an every year type thing. So that's kind of cool. And it just, I think the response to it was like kind of overwhelming. And again, we've said this over and over, but like you kind of work on something for so long that you just totally lose perspective. And to show it to people that haven't seen really anything other than the trailer, and then a completely random people came, a lot of film guys, local film guys that we've conversed with online or discussed stuff, but not in depth, and them showing up and meeting them for the first time, and then also saying very good things about the movie. It's just, I don't know. It was really, people stuck around for the Q&A. Our Q&A
that
was
blew
like
me away.
23 minutes long.
That blew me away because I was joking at the Q&A. I was like, I didn't expect it to be more than 0 people. Like I did not expect to do a Q&A.
Yeah, didn't we have like proxy people just in case there was no questions? Like I remember I set up one.
Oh yeah.
But that person didn't even have to ask a question. So it's like, I mean, all kidding aside, but like that it just like, you know, more than I'd say the questions came from at least more than 10 people.
Yeah.
And we were there for like 25 minutes. People stuck around even after that and talked to us. There was one guy we met, Wes, who like said he had, you know, he's like followed our stuff for a while, and I have no idea who he is. Not saying that like bad, like he seemed like a really cool guy, but he just sort of have followed like a local guy who kind of followed us for a while.
Yeah.
For people, and I think this is again the kind of the testament to just that idea to, you know, you know, just put stuff out there, and then it sometimes it sticks to on walls.
Yeah, it's I just like I'm still kind of it's just kind of blown away. Like I just chatting with like fellow filmmakers and you know, guys like Todd Jones, who before our film there was a few shorts, and he did one elevating game, which is I thought it was great. It was spooky, like it was
super
creepy.
creepy.
Was creepy.
But I was really surprised.
But him coming up to us later and inspiring him and Paul Whittington, who's like
legend,
seriously like a god. And
we've followed him online for like, you know, his work and stuff, and you know, talked to him once in a while, like just on, again, just sort of like through the World Wide Web. And to actually meet him for the first time, and he's just as cool as I would thought he was.
But actually, you know, hearing words like inspiring them, and I'm like, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I could quit. Not that I would, but I could quit filmmaking right now and be like satisfied. By inspiring one person. Like I think that's just, it's such a cool feeling. Like
I think
it's just hard to articulate.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of like the thing that I've really like got to a point now where it's like sometimes the stories we create and like make and you know, the stuff we put out there isn't actually the stuff that people really stick to. You know, I'm not trying to put ourselves on a level of like a Kevin Smith or something, but you look at Kevin Smith and there's even movies that Kevin Smith does, and I mean like the biggest Kevin Smith fan. That I like, that's something I don't necessarily need to watch right away, at least, or I just didn't feel that one. But as a fan of just him and what he's trying to do, and you know, being inspiring.
Yeah, exactly.
Is like
the philosophy,
yeah, and so I think that's something that I've really like taken to heart recently. Is like, you know, basically, screw the stuff we actually make. If it actually inspires somebody to go, like, even to the fact of like, the point of like, oh, that was shit, I could do way better, I'm gonna go make my own feature. Like, that's
like Kevin Smith talks about that with Slacker. He's like, oh, that counts.
Yeah, that counts. And I've always thought that too. With when he mentions the Slacker story, I know he liked Slacker, but there is some times that I've noticed that he kind of says that story, but like, you know, this counts. Like, I didn't know you can just have people bullshitting about nothing and it count as a movie. And that, I mean, if that, like, and he's always cited that movie as the biggest inspiration. And I remember hearing a thing, and this completely could be wrong, but the director, I'm totally Linklater.
Yeah,
he actually kind of like battled against, especially Kevin Smith, that when he says Clerks was inspired by Slacker, he's just like, oh, like I think he had kind of a bit of an offhand comment. I could be wrong, but I'm like, oh, why couldn't you embrace that? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Because it's coming from a place of endearment. Like, he's saying,
absolutely,
this counts. Like, like, oh,
I would never be
offended. Want to pick up a camera and do this.
I don't think I ever be offended if somebody was like, oh, your movie was shit, but I'm gonna go and make a better one. I'd be like, way to go. Like, I'd high five that guy.
That still counts as inspiring someone.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
like it's weird, and it might sound even like a little more holy than thou, kind of like a pedestal, but like it's not. You'd be surprised how like easy it is in a way to inspire people. Like, it doesn't actually take like this big leap. You know what I mean? I mean, it's people think that making a feature and, oh shit, make it for $500 is like a huge leap, but like to us, it's just like that's just norm. That's totally normal.
Yeah.
Like we've, I mean, ever since we picked up a camera, we never worried about like the fact that we actually needed money.
Yeah.
Like that's never been a thing. Like, and I think a lot of filmmakers think that, like, it's especially with features. It's like, oh, like, you know, you can make a short for $500 or something, but a feature, like, but why? Like, you know, you just double up a long feature and you got to, like, or a long short and you got a feature. Like, it's not the big elephant that people think. It doesn't have to be, at least.
And and then it's definitely like a crash course in a film school crash course. Like, that's what, like, we were talking about, right?
Totally. Like, you learn so much.
Oh,
from
my
these
voice
things.
is just gone. Jeez.
Well, I think you talked more on the Q&A, but
the Q&A was I was like, oh, I guess this is for real. Like, because I again, not expecting to have a Q&A. I didn't.
No,
really
I was kind of waiting
really
until the credits were over, and
then I was like, and then I'm like, oh, I guess this is happening.
Yeah.
It was probably good that I had a couple drinks beforehand.
Oh, you actually had. Oh, because I thought you were a little bit looser than like just normal.
Oh, I started drinking at home.
Oh, no, I was like stone cold sober.
That's a rough one. It was hard. It was hard still. Even it's just so it's a hard thing. But I think we talked about that enough. I think.
Yeah. No, I actually I was like really nervous and stuff, but then I sat down and with just Uncle Rick when we were watching a movie, just with that crowd, and I'm like, and I just totally sat back like I'm just watching it, like like it was like the first time I actually could be like with like totally like no eyes based on like, oh, what's shitty or not.
Yeah.
Although there's one shot that still bugs me.
There's
more
one,
than it.
There's one shot that bugs you?
No, bugs me like to the point of like I really want to change it. But other than that, there's like little things that of course you want to change. Like there was that question by the great filmmaker John Gardner, and he was like, "Oh, is there anything you wanted to change?" And we were just like, everything.
Everything. It's kind of a
we're gonna Phantom Menace this thing in 10 years.
There's a bit of a cop out answer. Obviously there's some things that I think are just fine as is.
I meant special edition, like we're gonna special edition it 10 years. But yeah, I found that some of the answers were a little bit cop outy, like we're like almost like trying to break the ice, sort of. But I think it's pretty legit though. There's not a lot of stuff that I wouldn't want to, you know, take another crack at. Although like some of the performances are like kind of hard to get again.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think just overall, I think a lot of like positivity on the performances. Like it like I don't know. Obviously, like we're twin brothers, and I can say this shit, but like I was super surprised how positive on your acting, like. Maybe it's because I just like you're kind of like the Bruce Campbell of our outfit. Like I just kind of poke you with sticks, and then like, you know, act monkey act like. Yeah. But it's like I think you're actually like watching it kind of like as an audience member. I was like, oh, you know, yeah, that guy, he can actually act. It's weird, but like you know, you got a lot of questions about acting too, like on the Q&A and you were just like, oh, like you're the cheapest guy we could get and stuff. And it's weird, but it's totally true. And it's not like, that's not taken away from your skills as an actor. It's just, that's just, you know, you even look at like the Duplass brothers and like, it's Mark, right? Mark's the actor.
Yeah.
And like the first thing that you could say is like, oh, it's just, he was the other guy that we could get in camera.
And I'm pretty sure that they would say that. I'm pretty sure that's probably what it came from.
Yeah, like they wouldn't be like offended by it or anything, but like Mark wouldn't. But now look at him, like he's a, you know, great actor. But he even said, like, I was watching Blue Jay. This is kind of a tangent, but I was watching that Blue Jay and how he really had to take his acting to another level, or basically another different place than he's ever been. And this is like a seasoned actor now, but you know, to get like really emotional and stuff was like really tough for him. And you know. It's funny. I think just a lot of this stuff is like really just put on pedestals that just shouldn't have to be.
Yeah.
You know, like
exactly.
I think
we're taking it down. We're taking it down a notch.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, with our small influence, but you know, influencing one person, you know, can influence 5 people from that person. Like,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So it's, you know, it's just trickle down. No, it definitely was, and like I was talking to a couple people at the end too about how the process of making something and then like sticking up on YouTube is great. And I totally like I support that theory that like putting it publicly out there is sort of a part of the process. Like that's kind of like that's what it mattered. Like it matters, you know. Like
Yeah,
making something and then just making something and then shelving it that's not really finishing it up.
No, there's a certain level of like legitimacy now that like the public has seen it. I feel there's like a slight validation.
And even if the validation if it was crappy.
Well, there's the validation that it kind of what is it, like it wasn't really out of place.
Like it feels like something that it feels like something that's like legit. It's really weird, but I think like, you know, sticking on YouTube and publicly like having it available, but also that extra step on the releasing of something is like actually putting it out there as like something that people pay for or even like show up physically and watch it is like I think the ultimate finish of something. Like that's when you ultimate feel like you've finished it, because it's like you know, you like with the good and the bad, like the lumps, like that the lumps come when people like make fun of it or like, you know, have like thoughts on it that aren't necessarily positive. You don't even, it's hard to explain, but like, do you know what I'm getting at? Like, does that make any sense? Like, I think that's part of how it works.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it was a great evening. It was cool.
It kind of makes me want to do more screenings. It's weird. Like, I didn't think that was going to be a thing.
No, I didn't think so.
I don't know about, like, I mean, obviously we want to get onto making some more projects and stuff, but I've always had this back. I mean, that being said, like, I didn't really think of doing it for this movie, but like for, like, you know, something that was a little bit more like had maybe a broader appeal. I don't know. Maybe I'm just selling myself short again, but something like our next one, like we could tour it in some way, like even if it's just like going to a couple cities or something. Like I think if we had a, like, you know, obviously kind of again, like the battle of building an audience, but if you had a bit of an audience or something that was like easily kind of a little bit easier to articulate, like the story wise, I'd love to do a tour. I think that's so cool when you can do that. But again, like, you know, obviously having a limited audience and stuff still, or whatever, or, you know, whatever that's going to be, whatever that means exactly.
So when's the date for Amazon?
I don't know yet. I have it set up for next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yeah, but that's just kind of like between me and you. You can change it anytime. We still don't have like a proper, like, you know, campaign for, like, you know, how do we actually gonna get some sales? Oh, are you kidding?
What? Your laptop died.
Just a sec. I think it's still coming back. Oh, it's coming back. Okay, I'm just gonna stop it. Actually, can we end? Or is it? Are you good? Okay.
Technical issues.
There's a little bit technical issues.
Save it. All right, I'm Dan. With the cold.
And I'm Jamie. We're the Francis Brothers, and okay. 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 Okay.